direction. Give me some direction. Able minds are working, open hearts are learning. Give me some direction.
My name is Melissa. I was really down in a deep, dark rabbit hole, and I had been a heavy drinker and a heavy smoker for about 18 years at that point. And I was using alcohol as a coping mechanism for stress, and I didn't even realize it at the time. And I was so far gone and disconnected with my body that I didn't even know I needed help, let alone, know how to ask for it. I was like most people out there are. I wanted results. I wanted immediate gratification. I was a little bit frustrated at first because I didn't really understand how BodyTalk worked. I even went as far as to read the science behind BodyTalk and try to understand it a little bit better. And so, I gave it a shot. Some interesting things came up. I think the thyroid came up, the adrenals came up, and a couple other things came up. And I just remember thinking, what a load of crap. Like, that doesn't make any sense. How is any of that related to my neck and my shoulder? So I wasn't able to put two and two together at the time. Looking back on it, I've been sober for 6 months now, and I really think that has to do with the sessions that I was receiving, because massage wasn't doing it, medicine wasn't doing it, doctors weren't doing it. Some changes really needed to happen. A huge overhaul and shift needed to happen, and nobody else was helping and nothing was getting through. And I was kind of at the end of my rope where I was willing to try anything. So I tried BodyTalk, and I said, what harm could it do? Little did I know it would be the greatest shift that really I've ever experienced. I was so disconnected and stressed and frazzled, and just like most Americans, most people, just very disconnected from my body, and I do believe in the body's innate wisdom to heal itself. I believe that, I've read so many different great stories about the body being able to just completely heal itself, given so very little, and just a huge turnaround. And it's amazing, small miracles, big miracles. The body's innate wisdom, it has a message to speak, to communicate to you. And if you're unable to hear that message, if you're distracted, if you're always drunk or always high, or, just stressed or always working, or whatever it is that you're disconnected from your body, or your mind is just taking over and you're unable to hear those messages, BodyTalk facilitates that. And he was able to get things that it took months and several doctors, several different medical facilities and specialists even to find. And thinking back to that very first session, how thyroid and adrenals and a few other things came up. Now 6 months later, after finally getting all cleaned up and cleared out and waking up basically and coming to life, I'm able to hear some of those things. And it's interesting that after all of those doctors and specialists and all that, what came up was the thyroid and the adrenals and, hypothyroidism, adrenal fatigue, just high cortisol. And it was all there in the very first session. So it's always interesting to see how things unfold, because there are always really big shifts, and it does take time. And but it's amazing, and I'm very, very grateful for his work and creating that safe space for me that I needed to heal, and being very supportive in a professional and loving way. It was exactly what I needed at the time, even though I didn't know it at the time. It was exactly what I needed for that shift to occur.